Hi, I'm Chris Ryan, Masters of Photography. Here we are at Photo London. We're coming along to see the Martin Parr exhibition, and maybe Martin will explain a few things about his work, and then we're going to have a look around and take you guys on a little tour as well, see who we can find and have a chat to. Let's go. I'm with Crawford here. He's going to explain a little bit about these pictures. Here's the photographer, the artist who's created them. So Gray, tell us a little bit about what you've done here.
The first thing to understand is these were done in the 1970s into the 80s. And every picture you're looking at is a shot 4x5 camera, color negative. Take that into the darkroom, and then you can see here the reality, and then there's various areas which I've gone into in the darkroom, hand cut a mask here, re-expose this through the mask with color filters and moving them so you have this graduated pattern. So when you look at these, all of these here, like here, again, a hand cut mask, exposure, and then another exposure here, same here, here, and various ones. So this is all analog, all done by hand and hand processed.
It's amazing because for me, we could, nowadays people say, why don't you do it in Photoshop? But then things happen in analog that you cannot predict in Photoshop, right? And that's what's the joy.
And what I love is exactly, some of these on the edges here, you see the masking.
Yes.
It's not precise, it's not exact.
Yes.
They're what, you know, so you have little, like all of a sudden this white concrete becomes a formal line. Here, see how it mimics here, or you have lines here, and then this was painted. They were doing paint tests on this building to see what they wanted to do, and then I print in the black, and then here's the brown reddish. So in any of these prints, there can be 4, 5, 6 different exposures.
For me, what this does, for me, is it shows the hand of the artist, potentially more than taking a series of images into Photoshop.
Yeah,
here
exactly.
I see Gray's hand, I see Gray's vision, and he's allowed accidents to happen in the analog process. Really lovely, Gray.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So here we are in Project Persons Gallery, and I'm going to show you some work of Ava Kahu. Come with me. So this is very semi-abstract, but what she's done, which is amazing, is she's measured a certain point outside of her back door, and she's taken one picture every day for a year, and she's melded them together in Photoshop. So what you see here is a year's worth of changing from that one spot. Isn't it beautiful? Okay, so here I am with Jan Schlagel, and he's going to talk to us about his incredible black and white work. Jan, I love the work. I just feel these people are by my side, they're with me. Tell me a little bit about the work.
Well, this is my first series I ever created. It's called Essence, and it's a body of work of maybe 70 to 90 pictures. And it's about the tribes of Africa or Asia that we are losing because of globalization. So these are handmade silver gelatin prints, so developed in the darkroom by me. And the skin and hair is selective toned brown, which is a long process, manual process in the darkroom.
Wow, and also a very skillful process, yeah?
Maybe.
So are you capturing these analog or digital?
I take the pictures with a large format camera, 4x5 camera, on film, on traditional film, and develop everything in the darkroom. So there is no digital manipulation, there's no digital print or something. It's all handmade work.
These are beautiful prints. They sing tonally to me. They're just stunning. And the gaze of your subjects looking out is intense. Yeah. And your toning, you're bringing the eyes out even more with your toning. They're simply beautiful.
Thank you.
And so maybe move on to the next section. Come with me. Are these part of the same section, Jan?
It's a continuation of the Essence series, which is the old tribes, but in the youth movement, we find these new emerging youth cultures.
Yes.
And so this is dealing with this.
Yes.
But in the same way like I did the Essence series, and I always like to show both together. So the Essence is about what we are losing, and this is the emerging new youth cultures.
And what's incredible is they echo the past so well.
Exactly, that's what the idea was.
So these traditions, this body painting, these has gone on for centuries.
Yeah.
You're capturing it across all these centuries. And again, most of the time your subjects are looking directly into camera.
Yeah.
This person isn't, but most of the time they're really engaging with you, and
Yeah.
that's what you like, that eye contact to camera.
Yes, I want this eye contact, and actually that we are able to study and almost meet that person.
Yes, I agree. They're stunning. Now we're going to move on to what I think is really special. This is the art of platinum printing. So Jan, tell us a little bit about these. I think these are beautiful. Platinum printing. Well, Jan, you explain that.
Okay, these, during the time of Corona, I had Corona. I did not feel it.
Yes.
But my test was positive. So I needed something to do in my lockdown, and I found this beautiful tulip in my garden and decided I'd take pictures of this tulip, something very different of what I normally do. And I made this study of 6 pictures. It's always the same tulip. But when I looked, and I made them as platinum print, but when I looked at them, I was not really excited. I felt like I have not captured on paper the beauty of that. Mm-hmm. And I felt like the white is not really good. So I was looking for a way how I can replace the white with gold. So these are platinum prints where the white is gold. So the black is platinum.
Yes.
It's a very thin paper.
Yes.
And the white, if you look at this, for example, it's pure gold.
It's pure gold?
Yeah.
How did you get the gold onto the platinum print?
It's a secret.
Good. Well, I tell you what, it's a secret, and it's a well-kept secret because they're beautiful. And if we told you, then everyone would be doing it. But these, if you can come closer, we'll see the paper is textured. It has a wrinkle to it. And he's saying that the gold is applied in the white areas to just give that lift and that different coloration to the white. Absolutely stunning. And finally, if you come around this way, Jan, there's a set of 3 nudes here, which are beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. It looks like a canvas background, sort of Irving Penn-esque
exactly.
background. Beautiful.
So this is my newest work. These are also platinum prints. I tried to show the beauty and the fragility of this wonderful person. Noemi is her name. It's taken with a 8x10 camera, again on traditional film.
Wow.
And then developed as platinum prints.
That's incredible. Is this body art? She is tattooed like that?
It is tattoo, yeah.
Absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
Absolutely stunning.
And this triptych, I felt like it's really showing her.
So Jan is working on a 10x8 camera, 8x10 camera on analog film, which is an 8x10 negative. And so he processes and prints everything himself.
Yeah.
And you can see the control. I mean, I think what's very important, again, in printing in black and white is to see the hand of the artist. And here with Jan, on all his work, you see the hand of the artist. You see what he's done and how he has used the black and white process in platinum and in silver halide to create the work that he loves. Fantastic. Stunning work.
Hey, it was a joy meeting you.
And you, Jan.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So now I'm with the artist Sanford Fischer.
I have been going to the one island. It's a small island called Crawford, which is in between Finland and Sweden. I've been going there for 16 years. So I've been photographing and filming the same forest for 16 years. So I've been going there and filming and photographing the same landscapes, the same trees, over and over again. So I have a massive archive of images from this place.
Yeah.
And what we see here is a layered image. It has like a grounding layer is a black and white image, and then there's color layers on top of it. And these photographs have been taken at different times, many times even different years.
It's great. I love the layering. I
Yeah.
love the layering of color, and it looks like you're mixing, as you say, your black and white and color, but also this immense depth. Like the forest itself, it has this great depth. But what you're also adding is time, which is very interesting. Are you combining these images in Photoshop?
Yeah, it is.
Layers in Photoshop.
I mean, nowadays I shoot digital.
Yes.
But I was shooting analog for a long time.
Yes.
But then digital caught up with analog, and it sort of made no sense anymore.
I'd like to talk to you also about this lovely image over here. What you've done is introduce a face into it as well, which is very mysterious.
Yeah.
Looking through the forest.
Yeah.
At us.
It's well, these are like really brand new. So there are only I think maybe 6 images ready by now, and they all work in a little bit different way. Like in this one, you might see that the face is maybe behind the forest. But in other ones, it's more like it might be that the forest is transparent through the person. But if you go very close,
Come and have a look, guys.
if you go very close, the face disappears.
It does.
So it becomes this just branch of like branches and trees. And when you go a little bit further, then it appears again.
But what's interesting for me is you said that it was sometimes in front of the forest, sometimes behind, but here I feel that it's in both places.
Yeah.
The lower half is forward, and the back
yeah.
half is. So you're playing with layers of where is this layer all the time.
Yeah. But my very first works, like when I started photography, I was very interested in people, and I was making a lot of portraits. So this is like the origins, like where I came from. And in a way, this is kind of like going back, like combining these two, something that I did a long time ago, and something I do now.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So we all know that combining images and layering images is very effective, and if it's done crudely or badly, it can look terrible and not realistic. But luckily, this man is an artist, and his combination of layers and images produces art, and it's absolutely stunning. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you.
So I'm here with Paul, and he's
there.
going to tell us about Cecile Tice and her still life work. I'm very interested in still life, and I see here in Photo London more and more still life appearing, I think. So Paul, tell us first of all about Cecile's work.
Yes.
And also perhaps then, do you think there's more appetite for still life in the buyers these days? But first of all, let's start with Cecile's work.
Yeah, so Cecile, we started working with her, I think 7-8 years ago already. So she's in the collection of the Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam, and she has this very painterly effect. So the still lifes also, of course, you have the tradition of the Dutch still lifes.
Masters.
Yes, the Dutch masters, and then she also, so you see in the distance there, you see her food portrait series. Which of course very much relates in the sense of lights and the coloring and also the shape, the positioning, the very controlled positioning reflects that painterly effect.
Yes.
But at the same time she uses digital photography, so it is very she paints almost with her images, so she creates new images. Sometimes, here a clock floating through the air with the snails on it. So there's also this like surreal image, makes it a little bit funny. You can relate your own story to it.
It's about time, isn't it?
It is,
Snails
of
are very
course.
slow,
Yes,
and
yeah,
time moves slowly. I mean,
is it, or is it?
or
Does
is
it move
not,
very?
or is it the
Yeah.
other way around?
So is it the small thing or which is going fastest? That's also one of the questions you could ask yourself.
I thought it was hours and minutes.
Maybe as well. There you go.
But it's beautiful,
Yeah.
and it has this warm light on it.
I agree, and that's really the strength of Cecile, is that she really plays with the light and dark and the shadow. So her sense of light and dark and that concept is really something that sets her apart from a lot of other photographers. That's also why we started working with her in the first place, and she's also just a very friendly, very creative person. That also helps, of course. But she does multiple things. She does portraits, she does still life, she works with flowers, she works with food, she works with items. This is her part of her Elizabeth
Have a look further down here.
Elizabeth series with the helmet and the water. You know, also playing, of course, with the Elizabethan theme of, you know, where symbolism. So everything has its own symbol. So she plays with that element as well. And there's movement in there at the same time. It's this very solid helmet, you know. So it's this juxtaposition between two elements that, you know, won't necessarily go together, and she makes it work somehow.
It does.
Her strength as well. And then if you move even further down, you see the high tea, which of course is the title of this piece, with, you know, the floating teapots, which of course also gives it, again, you know, is this humor in there, and it's very simple, very understated, very direct also.
It is.
But it's also very funny, and you see the image and you think, oh, this is the case. She makes it very real as well.
This is almost Magritte for me.
Yes, no, it is, and that's
Yeah.
one of her very, you know, important inspirations. So everybody, especially in the Netherlands, you know, they would see these images and immediately are drawn to Vermeer and Rembrandt. But she also has this very, you know, like you said, the surreal image, the Belgian influence from Magritte, and even, you know, color-wise from further down south, the Italian Renaissance. So she plays with all these elements, brings it into her own fantasy, and creates a new world. That's what she does.
I'm here with Patricia, and she represents Mexican photographers. And the first artist we want to talk about, they work in an area which is completely controlled by the narcos, and they are involved with the poppy seeds. That's all they're allowed to do. So for me, this work, the intensity of colour probably reflects the intensity of their lives. And there's some dark shadows and ominous objects. But anyway, let Patricia explain more about this artist's work. Patricia.
Thank you. Yes, Ava Martinez, that is the name of the artist. He lives and works in Mexico. He is part of Magnum. He has won the World Press Award, and the award was created for his work because he's just amazing, and he's living in this society that is controlled by the narcos. And here you can see some glimpses of the life of these people, not by himself. This is Yael, this is his daughter, and you can see here that is a cock.
Yes.
A fight cock. And this is like a little house that where they sleep because of the mosquitoes.
Yes, the mosquito net.
Yeah. So they close it and they sleep there.
And look at this machete.
This is Miami. That photo is just amazing because you can see the colors.
Yes.
It is basically the same color with different slides. It is just amazing photo with very a depth of the wall here, and you can see the machete. And this is what they usually have in the belt.
Yeah.
They go walking, and they have the machete for everything.
It's beautiful, and for me, what I'm seeing here is the textures are incredible. The colours are vibrant.
Yeah.
And here, particularly like this one, they live in the shadows. A lot of
Yes.
the time, I would imagine, just because they're hiding
Yes.
there, they live in the shadows. So
Yeah.
the artist is trying to capture some of this, and also kind of the crudity of their electricity.
Yes.
Yeah. It's absolutely
Yes.
stunning. Tell us about this piece here.
This is Yael and his daughter, Cecile. The daughter usually dreams that she's going to fall down. And then he decided to play with her, and he is going to catch her. So she knows that he is always going to be there for her. So this is a beautiful, and the name is The House That's Bleeding.
And that is because here we see this red tract, which seems to be almost dripping down the wall like blood. For me, there's also another element. This is the joyous element. So he's throwing his daughter in the air
Yeah.
to make her happy, but look over here. This shadowy impression. So what we have here is joy, but what you could also say for me, this almost looks like somebody's hanging.
Yes, that's
So
how
this duality
yeah.
of happiness but some sadness there, for me, this is a personal opinion.
And this is a very young, he is only 44, I think, 44 years old. And he's very young. And he is really making a great way to photography. He's amazing. He's just amazing.
Maybe it's fabulous work. I love it. Maybe move on to this.
Well, Alejandro Cartagena is a very well-known photographer. And he is very famous because of this specific series.
I've seen this work before.
Yeah.
I love it. It's
This
so
is called
playful.
carpoolers.
It's called, sorry?
Carpoolers.
What does that mean?
Carpooler is...
Oh, carpools. I'm sorry, yes. So carpool where you share a ride.
yeah, where you share a ride. You can understand it in so many ways. Can be migration, can be the poor people, and how they are dealing with life, daily life, and how they understand their own being. And they are not looking at him. They don't know he is there.
They have no idea.
No. And with the work, you can see that the same truck goes and comes back and takes many people the way, and the people is changing. So you can, for example, go with, I want a truck, blue truck, with one person and with a red cup, and then you can really choose whatever you want. And then the work is always going to be unique. It's going to be your selection.
Yes.
So this is very interesting.
Very interesting.
Yes, he is in great museums, except MoMA, and he's shown in the Fundación Cartier, and he is part of great collections in museums and institutions. A Phoenix Museum in Rotterdam bought a great piece of work, so he is really, really very famous.
He's great. For me, they are funny.
Yeah, they are funny.
They are another take on human life. But the big thing for me is they are a frame within a frame.
Right.
So there's a whole different piece of life going on here than in the main frame. And the way that they divide it up, like here,
Yeah.
he's so interested in the way that the composition forms within the frame.
Right.
And
You're
it's
right.
It's really stunning, and they're all beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful, vibrant colors. This is Mexico, so the people
This is
vibrant
Mexico.
colors.
Yeah.
And I love this. Just the one arm.
Yeah.
Oh, here this is wonderful.
Yeah.
I think they're absolutely terrific and well recognized throughout the world.
Yeah.
Patricia, thank you so much.
Thank
for
you.
talking.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm here with Nicola, and we're going to talk about this artist's work, Catherine Linkersdorf.
Linkersdorf, yeah.
And again, it's still life, and it's a huge piece of still life. And as I was walking around, I stopped in my tracks. I love still life. This is, first of all, I have to admit, first of all, I thought it was Irving Penn, but it's not. It just jumps out at me, as does this. It's almost three-dimensional, this other piece of work here. So, Nicola, talk us through what's going on here, who's the artist, how does she create her work?
Okay, so the artist, as you heard, is Catherine Linkersdorf. She's based in Berlin. She trained initially as an architect, and then she changed careers and she studied photography. And this is from a series called Fairies, a series that she's been making for sort of 3 or 4 years, and she's still making work in this series. They're all flowers and they're always tulips. And the reason why she uses tulips, I'll explain later. She takes the flowers and then she extracts the natural colour from them. So she's left with these flowers that have no colour at all. They're completely colourless. And she keeps them in her studio. She keeps them almost under, I say almost under laboratory conditions. They are under laboratory conditions. And she looks after them. She dusts them and she applies water to them. And then when she's ready, she has a tank of water that she pours dye into. Sometimes it's the dye that's come from the tulips. Sometimes it's another natural dye. And she plunges the tulips back into the water and the dye clings to the tulip. Why she uses tulips? If you can think of a tulip, it's very waxy, and it's also got a sort of double membrane. So you get pools of the dyed water captured within each flower, and that gives it this beautiful sort of solid mass of colour. So very architectural. You can sort of see where her architectural studies led her.
Yes, indeed. I hadn't thought of that, but you're quite right. And she will have been so interested in form and shape with her architectural background.
Exactly. The form and shape of the tulips are very, very important.
It's absolutely stunning. And it looks like it's taken on a large format camera. Can you tell us a little bit about how she creates her work?
Well, she creates the work. Well, it has a lot to do with the sort of the technical part of drying the tulips, and then she has a digital camera that she uses to take the photograph of the flowers that are turned upside down in the water. So this one's on a white background. We have actually a more recent one here, and in this one you see there's not so much dye. These are pretty much devoid of all colour, and I think the black background gives it a great. They wouldn't look so great on the white background. The black background gives it a great sort of. Makes it almost theatrical, doesn't it?
Completely agree, and for me it was almost has a three-dimensionality about it too.
And it looks like material. It could be silk, couldn't it? It doesn't really look like a flower at all.
And it also has, for me personally, it has this dragonfly quality.
Yeah,
about it.
I hadn't thought about that. Yes, you're right.
I almost thought it was two dragonflies, or a variation of it. It's absolutely stunning. And again, with her architectural background, she's obviously interested in the sort of the internal shape, the sort of the
Very
foundations
much so.
of an object or a building.
Yeah.
The structure, the internal structure, is more important to her potentially than the external structure. So that's why she's, being an architect, she's interested in what keeps things up.
What keeps things exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so the next group of photographs we're going to look at, not only are they incredible photographs, this is also a love story. This is a love story which started in Switzerland. So here we have Eric and Leah. Eric and Leah, tell us about this love story.
Ladies first.
What to say about love?
How did it begin?
Love is love.
Love is love.
And photography?
How did your photographic journey begin to create these pictures?
Just, we met in the street in Lausanne. I saw him, it was 11 in the night, 11 o'clock. And I said, wow, nice to see someone like you in that sad little town.
Yes.
and we started to speak together, and the day after I said, would you like to make a portrait? And he said yes.
I said yes.
And then it started like this.
Not only did it start like this, it continued like this.
Yes, a few months later we made our first exhibition.
And so if I understand correctly, you've photographed Eric ever since?
Yes.
How many years have you been photographing Eric?
12 years.
12 years?
Yes.
Is he good?
I don't know. She has to answer. I don't know.
No, he's good.
I do my best.
We are like a monster with two heads.
We work together. Everything we make together.
We do everything together.
The imagery you create, you shoot in different places. Perhaps you could tell us a little bit about your journey in photography and what you do now.
Yes, we make photos in journeys and photos in studio. And we try to make that each photo has a story. Each photo has to tell a story. You must, it's not like shooting in... Comment expliquer? C'est pas... It has to make sense, to tell a story.
Here we have Eric in the bar in America. He's the only black guy in the bar. The white guys have got their backs turned to Eric. This guy, all of them. And he's incredibly dressed, beautifully dressed. Here is Eric.
Do your job.
The juxtaposition of Eric dressed as this and these guys in the bar is truly beautiful. And it's a beautiful print. The tonality is wonderful. And then here we have a completely different image. This is where is the journey? Here we have the road in the background. Where are they journeying to? Eric looks so strong and powerful in this image. I love it. And there's a texture over it, a crisscross texture over it. Beautiful image, beautiful image. Beautiful work, and what a character. A love story between Leah and Eric. And this is the result of that love story which began 11 years ago. That was a brief look at some of the great work here at Photo London. I'm inspired, I'm motivated, I'm excited. The ideas, the concepts that you see on the wall here just build up in me. I want to go and shoot some more things now. So I hope hearing from some of the artists and seeing some of the work has also given you a few ideas. And so see you soon. Thanks a lot.